What up, everyone? DEI Alliance Spotlight with Rising Coaches is back. Today we have the Fresno State Associate Head Coach, Coach MANDI CARVER, is representing Be Ready Family. We're so excited to have her here today. What's up, Coach? How are you doing?
Great. Love that you're doing this. Appreciate you chatting with me.
Yeah, no doubt. We had to make sure we get some of the honorable ladies of Be Ready represented. And so excited to have you here. So you're at Fresno State. We're not quite starting the season yet. It's coming next week, but year 8, I believe. Those that won't know this, and no one would even know this, but I was at Fresno State for a season, and I got to work in the same facility as you and see you up close to your thing. And much respect then, and just as much, if not more now, and all the things you're doing and accomplishing. So great person and coach. So tell us a little bit about Fresno State first, and then we'll talk specifically about you and how you ended up there.
Yeah, so this is my 8th season at Fresno State. Hard to believe. I think we were speaking earlier about like having the opportunity to be in this business and stay at a place that long. That's right. Not typical. So really grateful that I've been able to be in one spot. I think you improve so much more when you have that stability and those relationships. And that's really helped me grow, I think, here as a coach and in the profession as a whole. So really, really lucky to have the opportunity to be in the Mountain West. I think it's one of the best conferences on the West Coast. And it's, again, like I said, it's really helped me grow as a coach and develop my relationships and, the stability. You just don't see that all the time.
No, you do not. So credit to your head coach and staff. And most people inside the business know how important associate coaches are. People outside or people young in the game may not, but the associate coach essentially is the glue, in my opinion, of the program. The associate coach and the director of ops. The glue behind the scenes is director of ops, but the glue that has to make sure the head coach is good, assistant coaches are good, everything's on point usually comes from the associate coach. So talk a little bit about your role there.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate to have a great mentor in my head coach, Jamie White. She has allowed me to have a lot of responsibilities. And again, really fortunate for that opportunity. I think it's prepared me. It's helped me grow as a person. It's really challenged me a lot of times. And the opportunity just to have my hands in so many areas, I think has really helped me, develop as a coach. And again, having this stability to be here 8 years, I have those relationships across campus with, the administration, within our staff. And so, a couple things, I'm kind of like you said, like the go-to person. People kind of filter everything through me. So I have to know a little bit about everything and be prepared and have, my hands in all areas within the program. And then again, like you said, really important to have those support staff, like the director of ops. We have graduate assistants. We have 2 really, really good, talented assistants on our staff. So it's really made my role pretty easy and helped me, for that next step, because it sort of becomes like a managerial position where, you're managing people, you're motivating, you're helping them learn and get better and teaching them different ways to maybe do things that, in a different way that they maybe haven't seen or haven't done before. So really, really fortunate to have that opportunity.
For sure. Talk about Coach. I love this shirt. So I gotta move this your name tag a little bit so people can see it. So female athlete, and you just crossed out and it says athlete. Tell me about the shirt before I ask you about your career and how you ended up there.
Yeah, I think, I grew up in a time where women's basketball really started to take off. The WNBA hasn't been around that long. And, I get asked all the time, it's kind of frustrating, like, oh, you coach basketball. Is that a full-time job? Like,
right.
You knew a full-time job. Like 40 hours is like a vacation week, right?
I would say 40 hours isn't enough.
Yeah. So, and like, oh, you played basketball, and I did play professionally, and people are like, people paid you money, and I think like no one would ever ask a man that question. So, growing up with like kind of that era of where women's basketball really came into the spotlight and became like an actual career, a profession, and women are getting more opportunities. I think we're seeing, in the NBA where women are having the opportunity to coach and be a part of that. It's kind of nice when you can just look and say, yeah, you're an athlete. You're not a female athlete. You're an athlete. Like you do the same thing. You have to get up and do conditioning at 6 a.m. You got to lift weights. You've got to, and it's nice that I think we're trending that way where people are seeing it like, no, you're an athlete. You deserve the same amount of recognition. You deserve the same amount of pay. Hopefully we can close that pay gap within the professional ranks in the women's area and within coaching one day. I think we're getting closer to it. So That's kind of my, my shirt. I like to wear some subliminal messages, especially around young females that I get to have the opportunity to be around every day. And, hopefully it wears off on them and makes them one proud and a little bit like, continue the fight for.
It definitely helps that conversation get started too.
Right.
It may not otherwise happen, just like it just happened right now. So I love it. I'll tell you, keep going, Coach. I have 3 daughters and a wife who was a Hall of Fame athlete at her institution. She played Division I at Colgate. So, I would definitely say keep going. It's needed. Need more of it. And shout out to Don Staley, who just broke some major barriers for pay equity. And, that's part of the reason why we have this alliance and with Rising Coaches to be able to celebrate that, promote that, and those kind of messages. So definitely appreciate that. You talked about growing up and playing ball. Tell everyone your story as a really good basketball player who eventually played professionally and then now in the coaching ranks. How did you get into coaching after playing?
Yeah, so I think, again, having the opportunity to play professionally was never something I envisioned growing up because it wasn't something that you saw or heard about because it wasn't happening in America. It was maybe happening in Europe, but like that didn't really kind of make the mainstream media like it does now. And I knew I liked basketball. I knew I liked to compete. And when college finished, I didn't want it to stop. And I did have the opportunity. I did some WNBA stuff. I have lots of pictures. It looks like I played a really long time and had a great career, but I played 2 games. So, but the pictures, I could tell a whole different story with those. And then I had the opportunity to play professionally in Europe for 7 years and really great experience. I got paid to play basketball, see the world. I really grew as a person. I learned independence. I learned a lot of different cultures and, appreciated all of the different places in the world and different people and diversity. It was such a great experience. And I didn't want basketball to stop when, my body kind of needed it to. So I had the opportunity to get into coaching. And after I finished my playing career, I was able to start as a Division I assistant, which I know is not typical. And I was able to start at California State Bakersfield and had a great first season, was able to move on to San Jose State after that. And then now I've been at Fresno State. This is my 8th year, like we had talked about. And I've loved the being in California. I think it's a great place to coach, and I've been in the same university system, so it's made it pretty easy to transition between the different universities. And the opportunity to get to be around young people every day, you can't beat that. And I think being a coach is the best job in the world. I get to, wear basketball clothes. I get to be in the gym. I get to, like I said, be around young people and, hopefully help them have a better life. That's my goal. I think basketball has the opportunity to change these young people's lives, and that I get to be a part of that is so special. And, I love it. Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm back.
There we go.
I want to make sure I didn't interrupt you. So great why. Love that. I was going to ask you that later, but you already covered it. Talk a little bit about yourself. Is there family? Is there aspirations to be a head coach? Are there things you love? What are the things you love to do outside of, if you had to say? And then we'll get into some kind of pick and choose of Jordan, Kobe, or LeBron, and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would love to be a head coach. I'm really fortunate that I have a great boss that has been a great mentor to me. And, I think I'm really lucky and that I can wait for an opportunity that I think I'm the perfect fit for and, that makes sense for me. Definitely would love to have a family. It's hard in this business. I think, you're seeing more and more people do it and be successful at it. And again, I think that's great when you can see people, that are doing it and doing it well. It makes it something that, I think I could do that too. Right now I have 2 dogs and that is enough of a headache for me. So trying to manage that's tough. So just, wanting to, take my time and make the right decision at the right time.
For sure. What about when you're not coaching? Let's talk off the court. Let's get to know who you are as a person. What are the things you love to do when you're not coaching?
So I love college football. I absolutely love college football. Both of my younger brothers played college football. So
Fresno is a good place to be for that.
Right. It is. They have a great football tradition, great, football program. So I love college football. I'm pretty much like, it is basketball about 24/7 for me. A little bit of football mixed in, working out, because that never goes away when you're an athlete.
Do you still play? People probably always ask you, like, Coach, come play, come run with us.
I'm too competitive. So I can't, people do like the staff pickup or the rec league. Like, right. I can't show those colors. Like, they will be like, oh, who is the crazy lady? We're not letting you back in. Like, no one needs to see that. Like,
I know that feeling.
Yeah. So I know myself. I know that it's just better that I stay out of that because no one's ready.
No, they're not. They're probably not, Coach. So in practice, what's the in practice coach like? What are you like in practice, if you don't mind sharing?
So it depends, right? Because
associate coaches have to wear a lot of hats. You have to balance.
Right. My role is to balance like the head coach. So if things aren't going well and she's on them, then I'm the fun one. And maybe I'm like dancing or cheering or, making sure that like everything is right. Like, or jerseys are tucked in, shoes are tied, hair is right. Like, let's just we're hustling from drill to drill. And then, when things are going well, I can be a little bit harder. And, then maybe I'm like, do that again. Nope. It's gotta be right. Do it again. So it's kind of a balancing act. And I think that is something that I have gotten a lot better at over my time and within this role.
Nice. So what about food? Are you more of a cooker or are you more of a go out?
So I can cook. I can. And the girls know, like, if they'll be like, if we do, if we pass our conditioning test, will you make us cupcakes? Or,
nice.
I do Thanksgiving. So I do that for the team. But awesome. Do I cook nightly? No. No. And again, Fresno has some great restaurants. So
yes.
I like to, make sure that I am on a rotation of checking them all out.
Nice. That's good. That's a beautiful thing. I like to hear that. And Thanksgiving dinner, I'm sure that's probably a big deal. They look forward to that because you're throwing it down.
Yes. Yeah, they do. They love it.
Are you more, if you had to pick one or the other, singing or dancing, which one are you doing in front of an audience?
I wish I could sing. I wish I could. And I do. I don't do it well, but I probably do a lot of it both, like all the time. Like I'm the one, like I'm singing in the office. I'm like dancing down the hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your go-to dance move? We got to know that. What's the go-to?
It depends. Like I can do it all, but
So you got some versatility in it. Okay.
Yeah, I got some versatility.
That's
Yeah,
good.
it depends on the beat, the song,
Depends on the mood of the day. Okay.
Yeah, mood of the day, all of that.
I like it. So no singing, just dancing.
I mean, I will sing. It's just not good.
So growing up, who did you look to that you wanted to be more like? And then if you had to pick Jordan, LeBron, or Kobe, who are you picking?
Ooh, that is tough. Again, like growing up, there wasn't a lot of like professional athletes to emulate or to aspire to be, because again, it just wasn't visible. It wasn't on TV. It wasn't a thing.
Right.
So I wanted to be the best version of me. And I think I competed with myself every single day and wanted to be better.
Right.
And now there's so many people to look up to, and I love that for young people, that they can turn on the TV and they can see female athletes doing amazing things. I didn't have that growing up.
Did you look at any male athletes or not really?
It wasn't relevant.
Right.
It wasn't. It's like, I can't do that.
Right.
So that's again, visibility is so important, because
exposure,
like,
no doubt,
you can see something that you could do because it's someone that looks like you. So
true.
I mean, and again, I love basketball, I love all sports, but so I that's a tough question. Jordan, LeBron, or Kobe? So I actually got to meet Kobe and listen to him speak, and he did a clinic in Southern California, and he was amazing to listen to, and his attention to detail. And then he was coaching his daughter's team, and I got to watch them practice, and he had those kids, like they were, 10, 11 years old, and he had them like, nope, not a perfect screen, not a perfect cut, do it again. He had them running triangle drills at 10, 11 years old to perfection, and that was so impressive. And I think, again, his work ethic, his attention to detail, top for me. LeBron, the fact that he's still doing it like 20 years later blows my mind. But I mean, Jordan, I grew up with Jordan as like the GOAT. So it would probably, I would probably have to say him, but again, really hard to compare all three, because I view them as very different. But I was a Jordan Bulls fan as a child, because that was just the era.
Right. And you're not going wrong with any of them, Coach. Let's be clear on that. You're not going wrong. Right. You're winning the game most of the time if you have any of those guys on your team. Tell us a funny story before you go, and then I'll end you with one last question or one last opportunity to say something. So, funny story. It can be basketball. It can be you. It can be you singing and dancing. It can be cooking. Whatever you want. It can be when you were playing and you had to elbow a girl to get a rebound and she lost her teeth. Whatever you got.
This is a horrible story. I don't ever tell this one that often, but my junior year of high school, we're in the state championship game. And I grew up in Montana. We had great crowds for high school basketball. We probably had like 3,000 to 4,000 people at the state championship game for girls basketball. At the end of the game, there was a person in our crowd that thought we had won the game, but it was tied. So like we had a last second shot, missed, but they thought like, I don't know. So this kid takes a roll of toilet paper, because that's the thing you do. You throw like big rolls of toilet paper in the air as like streamers. It's what you do in Montana. He whips this huge roll of like Costco sized toilet paper out like onto the court just as I turn, and it literally hits me right in the eye and drops me. And we had to play overtime. So needless to say, we lost in overtime. I couldn't see out of my eye. And my senior year, everywhere I went, every game that we traveled on the road for, there would be a sign that said, "We are going to wipe Carver out with toilet paper all over it." So I got heckled my entire senior year, every road game, with these horrible signs. to remind me of losing the state championship game. So,
wow.
I mean, kind of a humbling moment,
No
and
doubt.
I mean, kind of hilarious, and can't believe that actually happened. But
I'm surprised you haven't told that story much. But
I know
sharing
it's
today.
horrible. Like, it's horrible. We lost. I got hit with toilet paper. Like, what? That's not real. And then I had to relive it for a whole nother year. Yeah,
it doesn't sound like a real story, but it
Yeah,
probably it probably motivates you. Like JJ Redick's got good stories like that, and he was a
Right.
great player, and yeah, it's extra motivation.
Yeah.
So last thing before we let you go, we're so glad you came today and let us get a chance to spotlight you. What would you want people to know about either you as a coach or what you aspire to set out as a coach? Either one, just something you want people to know more about you. That, you know, sometimes in coaching, people see us, but they don't know us, you know, and they
Right.
think we're maybe one way. And so I just think it's cool when people can get an opportunity to say, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, this is what I would want people to know, or this is the legacy I'm trying to leave behind.
Yeah, I think that's great. My goal, my vision of leaving my legacy as a coach is relationship driven. I strive to stay in touch with every kid I have coached over my career, and, you know, making sure that they know they could come to me with anything, anytime, and I'm there to support them, not just from the time they're 18 to 22 and when they play for me. That it is like, it's a lifetime relationship, and that's something that I have with my college coaches, and something that is what I want to be. And again, the power of this game and the power of this opportunity to play college basketball can change your life. And I have seen that. It changed my life. And that's what I want these young people to know. Like, you can get through some of the hard stuff and you have all the support that you need. It might not be all the support you want, but you have all the support you need, and it will change your life. It really will. And you'll have great relationships at the end of it.
Amen. Amen to that. Love it, Coach. I'm glad we got a chance to hang out today. I did forget one question, though, because we are also a part of Be Ready. So not only did I work with you at Fresno, get to see how great you are there, but I've been able to get closer to you as well as we've been a part with Be Ready. So talk about Be Ready real quick before you leave. I almost forgot because I was so wrapped up into the story that I forgot to ask. But yeah, tell us about Be Ready, how you kind of got connected and what that has meant to you.
So grateful for that group, for that family. I was fortunate enough to go to college with Alvin Brooks and one of the founders of Be Ready. And he has done an amazing job with connecting so many coaches across the country and across the world. Like, we've had people from all over the place, you know, be a part of it and talk on the Zooms. It's so great to have such good people that I could reach out to anytime, like day or night, literally, that have my back and that they know I have their back. And I mean, constantly asking questions about basketball, life, you know, everything. It's been so amazing to be a part of that network, and really opened my eyes. I feel like, you know, men's basketball does such a good job of supporting each other, mentoring each other, and networking. And to see that and to be a part of that, and that has helped me really focus on doing that on the women's side. So being a mentor, being, you know, a good role model, having that so that we can have that same camaraderie on the women's side that the men do. And being a part of Be Ready, again, just so grateful. It got me through COVID, and really lucky to have so many great coaches that I can reach out to.
Yeah, I think that hold on one second. Having a little bit of technical difficulty there. Yeah, I think that for me, the cool thing has been to see, and it's impacted me tremendously as well. Just cool the ripple effect that has started from that. It makes it where, to be quite honest and quite frank, minority coaches especially, I felt like we were always competing for the same jobs and same players. And so we never really made the time. It felt like we almost had to be competitors. And I think that one thing that Be Ready did during that time was just like, hey, we're all in this to advance. We're all in this to help
Right.
each other. It
We're
doesn't
all
matter.
on the same team.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Black, white, women's basketball, men's. Like, let's just help each other in this industry to grow, to get better, to ask questions. So I think that part has been amazing. Which reminds me, one time you asked a question, and I forgot to ask this question too, which I had it on my note to ask. But you have two of the bigger stars in the NIL game playing for you. Have they gotten you on a TikTok yet? Have they invited you on yet? And what has it been like, kind of all of the hype on July 1st, was it, when they first got their first deal?
Yeah, I mean, I have crashed a TikTok, and then I told them, do not post that. So I think they have it for, in the event they need to use it, to get something. No, but I was like, I was just like dancing in the background. I was being funny, and it actually recorded, and I was like, please do not post that. Oh, good Lord. No, but I think they did put me on one time, and but they.
So in other words, you went viral basically, because everything they do
viral,
goes
yeah.
viral. It sounds like.
Yeah, basically. No, they've done such a good job of managing all of that, and separating it. That is kind of like their off court business, and then they have been able to take care of things on the court, and just a testament to them as
Right.
people, players, and their family that they've been able to manage all of that.
And people probably don't know this as players, because it doesn't matter with NIL if you're a good player or not. It's really completely separate and about your following and those things. Has Fresno, one part question, has Fresno got more attention because of that? And then secondly, or Fresno women's basketball, and then secondly, tell us about them as players, because people just think like, oh, they just do that. That's all they do. They're not actually players.
Right. It goes back to this, like,
Exactly.
they see them as these, social media sensations. They are phenomenal basketball players, like the best two guards in the Mountain West, in my opinion. So, and on the West Coast, like they are really, really talented. They work hard every single day. Like, they elevate our practices. They're so competitive with each other, which makes it even more fun. And, I think people do forget about that. In a lot of the interviews, they don't read up on them and know that, Haley was the Mountain West Player of the Year, and they are both, two-time all-conference kids as freshmen and sophomores, which is, pretty impressive to do. They've both come close to scoring 1,000 points in their first two seasons. So kind of, I think they get frustrated with that too. They want to be known as basketball players that are really, really talented, not just, these social media stars. So I think it's a great conversation for them to have, and to kind of show people like, yeah, we're good at both things.
I love it, and they need to, the next phase. They need to get your shirt,
Exactly.
and they need to represent with your shirt next.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Coach, appreciate you coming today. I took a little bit longer than I wanted to with you. I know you got other stuff to do. Thank you so much. We could keep going and going, but we'll have you back at some point in time. Best of luck this year, and look forward to all the success you continue to have.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you're doing, and thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And be ready. Keep representing.